Oh, okay. I think you're up. Let me end my
I
sharing.
think let me try to see if I can put on a better light or something like that. Because I
Okay.
think uh, it's better.
Yes. So I wanted to add that you know I know that many of us we do appreciate Mr. Banjo for what he does, but I want to actually appreciate him again because he's doing this seriously sacrificially. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, boss, I think your time should be is it 2 a.m.? Is it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes. So our guy is up, and sometimes we'll be here for over 3 hours sometimes. So this is a lot of effort to put into this. So I just want to say thank you, sir, for remembering home. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Please go on,
Thank
sir.
you for
Yes.
listening to us. All right. Good evening, everyone. Again, thank you so much for attending another webinar for today. So today we're going to just pretty much talk about how to pretty much maintain your car for it to serve you for a long time, majority of the time. So I won't bore us with many stories today. So uh the most important thing that the last 8 years that I've worked as a mechanic usually is always maintenance. So maintenance are supposed to be done, and there are service intervals that you've got to do those maintenance. There's no lifetime oil, there's no lifetime part. Every part has an expiry date. Okay, please, can everyone try to confirm if they can hear me? Or I should speak up a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
I can hear you very well.
I can also hear you
Oh,
from
okay.
here, sir. Please
All right.
check your audio hearing device. Maybe it's from your end or maybe your network. Thank you, sir.
No, me, I can. I
No,
think
not
someone
you.
just.
I'm talking to Mr. Lawal.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
talking to
okay,
Mr.
okay,
Lawal.
okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the most important thing about most vehicles are maintenance is maintenance. So there's no lifetime oil, there's no lifetime part. Every part has a scheduled time. They expire every part. It doesn't matter what it is, it does expire. Even your car does expire. There's a actual limits to how much you can use it. So, in saying that, I'll just share with us what our recommendations are for service parts. I know we want to minimize money. I know it's a good idea for most people that, yeah, I don't have a lot of money now. Maybe I'll do it next time. But yes, you have to understand that the more you push those services ahead, the it is bad for your car. So it is very, very important that you follow the manufacturer specifications as to every single vehicle. Although the only problem that we face in Nigeria is most vehicle is supposed to come with a service manual. It does come with one. I'm not sure most vehicles have them. Most of the time that I've worked at the workshop at Abuja, 80% of the time, there's no service manuals. Even the ones people buy brand new, I don't know why they take the manuals out. So if you don't do the right services at the right time, you're going to have more problems with your cars. Everything is it's just going to be generally bad. All right, so let me share my screen and let me just give you little tips and tricks as to what I know. And this webinar, usually, if you're not just joining us for the first time, it is me coming to tell you what I know. It is not me imposing that, oh, I'm the car manufacturer. I'm not. I don't manufacture cars, but over time working at the dealership, working as a mobile mechanic, over time, this is what we've seen, or this is what I've seen in the industry. So I just speak about what I know. You might have a different opinion, which is perfectly fine. Um, as long as it works for you and as long as it helps your customers, that's perfectly fine by me as well. All right, so let me share my screen and then bring you up to some of the document that I prepared for today. Second. All right. All right. All right. So please let me know if you see my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Are we all good? Can everyone see my screen? Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Bawaji.
we
All right.
can.
All right. Let's go into these. All right. So this is pretty much just a basic service topic. All right. So we're talking about engine oil and engine oil filter. So my major or my most thing with oil and oil filters is it is subject to the type of oil that you've got. Now, I hope we all know that there are some oils that are made for specifically made for some cars, and there are some oils that you can't use. There are some oils you can. The oils that are made for diesel cars are different from the oils that are made for petrol cars. The oils that are made for hybrid is different from the oil that are made for plug-in hybrids most of the time as well. So it depends on the manufacturer specifications, and most of the time they put in parts. I've seen sometimes that you run more than one oil pump, and there are some cars that they only have one oil pump. Now, if you have multiple pumps, the oil has to be able to get to all of those pumps at the same time, or it has to. There's a time interval that once it doesn't get to that pump at the right time, you are going to keep killing that pump. The parts that they're supposed to supply oil to as well, you just keep killing those parts because it needs oil to lubricate, to cool the parts down. Every part is really, really moving at higher speeds as well. So it is very important that you understand the architecture of your vehicle. Don't don't tell me, oh, because Toyota uses 530 or maybe it uses 2050, then you got a Mitsubishi and you want to use the same exact oil with it. It is different. Now, unfortunately, we're supposed to have something we call a service manual guide for most cars. So here we had to build one. So most people build one for um aftermarket. So for people who don't work at the dealership, someone like me now, right now I don't work at the dealership anymore, but we still have access to all the dealership documents so that we can service the cars of our customers the right way as well. So I put the rego in, it tells me what oil the manufacturer specifies for those exact cars. So for Hyundai, when I was working at Hyundai, we always use C1530. Now, if you do not use C1530, all your GDIs are going to have problems. Now, the DOHA engines, which are just the normal ones, won't have problems. Those ones will not have knocking sound. So you have a tapping sound at some point if you use the wrong oil. When it comes, that's for just for Hyundai. I've not seen any other vehicle have that C1530 other than Hyundai and Kia. So those two vehicles are the same. They use the same exact engine, same exact part. They just label it up with different badge, which say Kia or Hyundai. There's if you find a Kia, there's an Hyundai equivalent. So for just those two vehicle manufacturers, they decided to make special oil, as well as Mazda. Mazda, all the newer CXs, all the newer Mazda 3, Mazda 6, all the Skyline engines, every single Skyline engine, the oil is different from any other variant of engine that they've made in any of the Mazda 3 or the Mazda 6. They've got a DOHA engine as well. It depends on what you guys call it. That's just an easier way of just letting people who are not mechanics understand that once you see DOHA engine and you see Skyline, it's two different engines in both cars at the same time. Now, for those vehicles as well, there's special oil. Mitsubishi as well. There's a Mitsubishi Lancer. I think there's an LS, there's an ES. There's one other variant that is not very common. The oil is also different as well. So, but I think most of the time that I've worked in Nigeria, every single oil is the same. Every single oil, whether it's Adex, whether it's Mobile One, whether it's ordinary Mobile, whether it's Toyota, which other oil is there that I remember? So all this oil has the same exact additives. So that's why you notice that most of the engines that I've opened, that I've serviced, and at least a fair bit has gone through my workshop in Abuja, I guarantee you the engines are bad. And you'd clearly hear knocking noises from those engines, no doubt, no cap. So your oil is the most important part in your engine. Very, very important. You cannot see. If you want to mice on anything in your vehicle, your oil is not one of the thing you can do that to, because your oil is the one that is responsible for lubrication, responsible for it's a base as well. I always just split them to say the 100% of oil, 60% is detergent, because it washes down all the carbon deposit in the engine and dumps it in the oil filter. Oil filter gets full, you take it out again, you put new oil in. That's what oil does. 20% is additives for all the valve, the steel seals, everything, the piston rings. It makes them happy. And then the last 20% is base, because everywhere you've got acid, you have to have something to break it down, which is base. Your fuel actually does some, your oil does some, so your coolant does some. So it is very, very important that you have the right oil, because the right oil that you have depends on how good your engine's going are going to break down all the particles that needs to get out of the engine as well. So your oil cannot be moist. You have to buy the right oil. So with that, I know because we don't have that software, it's fine. Some vehicles, the most mechanics in Nigeria, I think over time that they've been doing this job, I think they kind of know what oil. Some people make the mistake, but most people too. At least I think they found the right way to understand what oil to put into most cars. So please try to listen to your mechanics, and there are ways to do research on most of these things. If you do research, you will find it 100%. That I am very sure. You will find the right oil. You can go to Parts School. It's PARTS. So let me just open Google and then show you Parts School. This is another place to use Parts School. This is what Parts School look like. So this is another website you should use, or you can use, for pretty much everything. Like you need this. It tells you precisely what oil the car takes. You can see all the brands are there. They are here. It doesn't matter what car you've got. If you, as long as it exists somewhere, But this is also limited, just so that you know. It's also limited to some few. There's some few things you put in, it won't be able to read it. But at least you can fairly have an idea of what you're supposed to look at. If you've checked a lot of Lexuses, you should be able to streamline what oil or what kind of oil Lexus prefers to use. So use this website to kind of let me just see if I can bring up one of the things I've got here before. Let me see, so we can understand what I'm talking about. All right, so this is a Dodge Challenger. Now if we go into, with this you can actually tell part numbers of most parts that you're looking for. Now, from here, I think you can order as well. You can order the parts from here. This is it's a company in Dubai that actually sells parts. Now, this gives you what the part that you're looking for. It shows you what it looks like, and it tells you the part numbers. You see, right? So we're talking about the tile shaft now. You see, it shows you. I hope we can all see my screen. I hope everyone is still all good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is what parts will look like. It shows you what the part looks like, and it tells you how many bolts. Even gives you a clue on how to pull the parts out. Anyway, so from here, if we go back and then we go into, let's go to let's try the US. Let's go into oil. So you can have the brakes as well here, hydraulics, heat tubes, brake pedal, radiator, and air coolant. So this, if you're looking for compressor, all of those things, like you would definitely have them here. Let me look for, like, it does tell you anything and everything you need to know. This is the advantage that most of us have over some Nigerian companies. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. We have all of this. Now imagine I want to take out the front frame of the Dodge Challenger that I just put in. It already shows me where my bolts are. It already shows me majority of what I need to know. So uh, this is, and it's free. So if you take down this website, you can use it. These are things everyone should try to use. And that's why every time I come here, if I know something better, I'll just show you anyway. So oil is very, very important. Please, I know we don't have very good oil as well. I don't know which one is the best, whether it's Adex, whether it's Mobile One, whether it's Mobile Two. I don't know. I'm not a chemist that tests oil, but I'm sure most of our oils is bad, unfortunately. So let's leave oil and let's go into maybe fluids. Let's say you need to at major intervals. So there's some parts that at intervals you have to do them. So let's take Toyota, or let's take Hyundai. Let's look for another very popular one. Which other popular one? Mazda. So every time I've done the Toyota, every 10,000 cases when we do the service, right? That's the manufacturer specification. But unfortunately, with it depends on, most of the time, it depends on the weather condition of most countries that we've got. So we've also noticed that when we're working on a diesel car, and the manufacturer says most of the diesel cars every 15,000 Ks. But we've noticed that most of the oil, they break down quicker before the 15,000 Ks. And over time, we started noticing sludge in some engines, including some petrol and some diesels. So what me as a mechanic, what I do is, if I work on a diesel car and you drive it a lot, what I do is you do your services every 6,500, 7,500 Ks. And for petrol, I say, yeah, maybe 10 instead of 15. So I prefer to put it at that. And then ever since, most of my customers, they have been happier with their engines. Engines are really good. They tell me once you do a service, the cars, they drive absolutely fine. They are very happy with it. And then by 6 months, we do another service because of the oil breaking down. I don't know how true this is, although I heard this from an oil manufacturer. It's Mobile as well. So the Mobile out here, I heard it from the manufacturer themselves. They said that the reason they had to push in service intervals to 10 or 15,000 Ks is because service was every 6,000 Ks before. And then because the communities, they go through so much oil, and the countries don't couldn't find where to store the oil. So they had to ask the oil manufacturers to put extra additives to let it stay a little bit longer. So before you do, or before you bring in oil change or oil to deposit with the government, because the government is the one who recycles the oil. Before then, they would have recycled the old one before you bring another one. So that was the concept behind them letting the service stay a little bit longer. Now, but it's actually bad for the engine. Most mechanics will tell you that like I've seen a lot of very, very good mechanics. They've been there for 30, 40 years, and they're like, no, don't do it to yourself. If you really, really want to help your car, don't listen to the manufacturers and do it every year. No, if you do it every year, these are the problems we see in the workshop. They make the cars, but they don't fix it after they've made it. We do fix it. Because we fix it, we see a lot of things. So that's why most of the time, as a customer, you should listen to. We've seen most of these things. It's a trend. Once we see a trend, we find a way to fix it. So that's another way of uh, thinking of mechanics. So for oil, you do it every 6,000 or 6 months. For your air filters is done every 20,000 Ks. Cabin filter is also done every 20,000 Ks. Your coolant, some mechanics will say do it every 40,000. For some cars, some will say do it every 30,000. Some will do it every 60,000. So it depends. There's something we call coolant strip. If I check with coolant strip, the coolant strip tells me the how light the coolant is. So I take the strip, I put it in. If it's once it's getting lighter, I just do a coolant flush, because your cooling system depends on the mixture of coolant. I don't see a reason why you can't mix it. Some people say never mix coolant with water. They tell you that normal practice, you have to mix it with distilled water. Yeah, who's going to go around carrying distilled water? Unfortunately, we don't do it too. Unless even at dealership, we use normal water. And the only reason they tell you not to use it is because of fluorine that comes with those normal water. The more fluorine that goes into there, it breaks the coolant down. That's what they say. But I always say, once I check with the coolant strip and it's watered down, I do coolant flush straight away. Now, brake fluid has to be replaced every 30,000 Ks. For Hyundai, for Toyota, Mazda too does it every 30,000 Ks. Who else? Mitsubishi does everything for the 30,000 Ks. But there's some cars that decide to say yes, we can do 40,000 Ks. Now, there are different types of brake fluid for different types of vehicle. Once you check your brake fluid clap, you see the one that says we want .3, we want .4. There's .5.1 now, and then the race car ones is another one. So you have to know which fluid. If it says .4, don't put .3. If it says .3, yes, I technically think you can put .4. I don't have a problem with you putting .4. It's better anyway. So I can do that. So at every 60,000 Ks for every single diesel vehicles that uses fuel filter. Either you have an in-tank filter or you have an external filter. So for Hyundai's, you have to do it every 60,000 Ks, even in-tank. So all the in-tank, the Elantras, the I-30s, the Tucsons, the um Santa Fe, everyone, you have to do it at 60,000 Ks. So every 60,000 Ks, 60, 120, 180, 210. So you have to do all that in between. So then from there, we go to brake pads. You always check them. When it gets worn, you replace them. Those ones are parts you have to double check. Now, for sway bar links, you double check too. Drive shaft, you double check. Your engine mount, you double check. Now, for transmission oil, that's one of the most controversial thing that we're talk that is being debated. So, to some manufacturers tell you they have lifetime transmission fluid that once they put it in, you don't have to change it until the car until the life of the car expires. Now, what you need to remember is if you think about the way we've broken down the additives that are in oil, it's the same thing on transmission fluid too. It actually waters down as well. And imagine the amount of the heat that actually comes from those gears. So it is very, very important that you replace your transmission fluid. Anyone that drives any CVT transmission, please, every 30,000 Ks, replace it. Any CVT transmission, I don't care what the manufacturer says, your vehicle will keep breaking down. I mean Pulsar, I mean Nissan Murano, I mean which other, any CVT, even if it is Toyota, as long as it's got CVT transmission, please replace it. Now, every 80,000, every 70, 80,000 Ks, if you can do it at 60 is better. Pull the sump off, replace the filter that's in it as well. Very, very important. If you don't do that, your transmission 100% will break down. Now, when they tell you lifetime fluid, transmission fluid, it is until they decide that they want the car to break down. So please do transmission flush. There's nothing like lifetime fluid. So other than that, there's still spark plugs is according to Hyundai, it's every 40,000 Ks. Now there's different types of spark plugs. Now there's iridium, there's copper, and then there's platinum as well. Depending on the spark plug you put in, the manufacturer for spark plug says that copper is going to last you 40,000 Ks. Every 40,000 Ks, you have to do copper. Now, when you've got iridium, so they say 60. Some of them say 70. I say, okay, well, 50 is still good. Don't push it too hard and don't push it too much. If you've got platinum at 60, 70, replace it. Those are the major things that actually causes combustion in your engine. Once you have one spark plugs, terrible, you're going to have terrible engine output as well. So with that, so we move to talked about coolant. So we move to timing belt, timing chain. Now, each manufacturer tells you when to do them. A timing chain is every 100,000 Ks. It doesn't matter what you want to say. Once it is 100,000 Ks, you have to do a timing chain. A timing belt, some of them will say at 60, some of them will say at 80. A timing belt, some at 105. For Hyundai is 105. Every 105 Ks, you have to do timing belt. If you've got timing chain, you don't necessarily have to do it. They don't give you a set time in our service manuals that you have to do it. But we all know that it's every 100,000 Ks. All the European cars is 100,000 Ks. BMW, Fiat, any car. Once it hits 100, you have to do the timing chain. So suspensions, bearings, all of those things, they have a set time that they start going bad. You need to replace them. And it depends on where you drive, the condition you're driving at. That's another major component. So I don't think there's any other thing that I've not covered. The battery, always do a battery test. I always back here, every summer, once it gets to winter, I notice the batteries they die a lot. So you just wake up in the morning, and then you see your car won't start in the morning, and it's the battery. In winter, I know this radiator is right now, it's winter in Australia. What I've noticed is the parts that break a lot right now is radiator, starter motor, alternator, and batteries. So once we move towards winter, and then your compressor as well. This season is your compressor because it's very hot. So, but once we get into summer, we're worried about something entirely different as well as summer. So we need to understand what the Nigerian terrain does to us. We know what season to fix what. We already have a clue. So your fuel pump, if you have good fuel filter, the fuel pump will work a lot longer as well. So don't tell me, oh, some people will tell you, oh, no, you don't have to replace the fuel filter. When you do a fuel pump, you have to do the filter as well. Double check the filter because you can't see it from outside, knowing fully well that, oh, maybe it's blocked or whatever. If the fuel filter is full of dirt, which is always from the tank, the fuel filter actually filters the dirt that comes from the tank before the pump gets it. So, but imagine if it's full, it will just keep dumping the dirt into the filters, and then you start getting every single same dirt in your injectors. So it blocks up your injectors. That's what actually happens. Now, another thing for Hyundais that I remember, Hyundais do it. Any GDI, which is gasoline direct, any direct injection. Mitsubishi does that, some direct injection as well. Which other Volkswagen do it as well. Most of their Golfs, Jettas, who Skoda does the same thing, Audi does the same thing. So every single gasoline direct, any direct injection um um uh engine, so it means that the fuel is not going to go on the valve before it gets to the cylinders. It is going to squirt into the combustion chamber directly and cause combustion and everything. Most of those vehicles, we always put some additives to clean down the injectors and the combustion chamber as well. We call them what did it call? One second. Every time I do an I&I service, I have to put the cylinder head clean. We call it cylinder head cleaner. So we always put it in the field every single service. That cleans all the dirt that is in the cylinders because it's direct injection, unlike it going over the valve, which are the other type of engines that we've got. So we have to know what the manufacturer does at most interval. They're the ones who make the cars, and they have made a lot of terrible mistakes. Every single vehicle has a recall. There is no best vehicle. There's nothing like Toyota is the best. There's nothing like Honda is the best. Every single vehicle has a problem. Now, if you know the problems and you fix them on time, you're going to have the best vehicles. You're going to drive the cars for as long as you want. For Hondas, all that the baby, I think we call them Honda Accord. We call them Baby Boy, Hebrew Spirit, and then one discussion continue. All of those cars, where you see them, the drive shaft actually pulls out. There is at the service interval in Honda right here, we always have to do that. We always have to replace the drive shaft because they know 100% that there is actually they've done a big mistake there. I think what they did was the drive shaft is slightly shorter. So when you turn the engine all the way full lock, the drive shaft is almost pulled out. Almost. So that's where they make that mistake. It's slightly shorter. Because it's slightly short, it will pull out. So most of us buy the cars with the original drive shafts. We don't change them because the aftermarket guys have made them slightly longer, slightly very minute, but it will stay longer. So that's why I always say if you still have the old one, you just keep changing the boot, it's still shorter. unfortunately, there's not much that can happen there. You have to replace them with slightly longer ones, and then the manufacturer is the one who is going to tell you which one they made that is slightly longer as well. So other than that, which other part is there that I know there's you oh so for maps, anyone that uses maps, every service we all every I think every year we always have to do map updates. We always have to do ECU updates. There's a lot of updates we do on a car. So for Hyundai, we do map, we do ECU, we do throttle body, we do every kind of update. Even the newer cars now, even the newer cars even have terrible updates that once you buy them, you have to keep doing them every single time. If not, you start having minor issues, and then you always think that yeah, there's a part problem. We keep replacing the part, but the problem still persists. It's the software. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do until you upgrade that software. The part is not going to work as good as it's supposed to. The old part you pulled out is still fine. It's just the ECU update that there is for that part has not been done. So that's why we always have recalls. You get a recall notice, they call you and tell you to bring it in, and then they do the update. So for Tucson's, we have to rebuild. So all the, I think it's called Toxin, Tucson, Toxin. For Tucson, a Santa Fe, we had to rebuild every single transmission in that vehicle. I mean, every single one that came to Australia, we had to rebuild it because at some point, if you go underneath, the tower shaft will spin freely. Now, once the tower shaft spins freely, the front torque converter, you have to replace it as well. So torque converter, the recall was for torque converter and the tower shaft and the transmission rebuild. So we do a transmission rebuild, and then we'll put the new torque converter, feel solves the problem. But if that vehicle has equally gone to Nigeria and no one has done it, you guys will keep having issues forgetting that there's somewhere or there's something that has to be done to that transmission. It is what it is. Even if you go and buy another transmission, as long as that transmission has not gotten the rebuild, you're going to have the same problems. So let's just leave that at that. Then maybe let's go into tires. Now, there are different tires for different seasons. Now, there are different tires for each cars, and the different tires from different countries as well. So for hot terrain countries, there are different tires. Now, it depends on what road you're driving on. That's what actually determines what tire to buy as well. There's just normal passenger tires. So I just wrote some few names of those tires here. So there's summer tires. There's tires that are used for summer. So what we do here, once it's getting to summer, just replace your tires to that exact tire, the tire that is good for summer. Now, once you're getting to winter, you replace it to the winter tires. Now they have different tread patterns, tread types. Let me see if I can show different pattern, different tread types. Okay, let me see. I think there's one part where I pulled it up here. Let me see if I can do oh, tire tread. Okay, so this is what I mean by tire tread patterns. So different tire tread patterns as well for every single vehicle. Now, when you see some tire tread patterns, you should already know what terrain they're used for. This exact tire tread pattern, the one in the middle, this is for winter because it grips differently in winter. Now, there's all terrain. There's muddy tires. There's all terrain. There's different type of tires. Now, depending on the tire that you've got, it depends on the type of drive that you're going to have. Tire. I hope we know that if you have terrible tires, it affects your fuel consumption. If you have bald tires, it affects your braking system. Now, the tire will make your brake pads wear on time as well. It now also, if you have the tire that is out of alignment, it makes your sway bar links extend further, too further. It spoils your torque converter as well. It spoils your diff as well. Now, for tires, if you've got an all-wheel drive car, this is my own opinion and the manufacturer specification on every single vehicle. If you have an all-wheel drive tire, if one tire is bad, you have to replace all four. All four of them is what you have to replace. Now, you cannot have Toyo on one side and have Michelin on the other side because it actually messes with the drive line. You will break your diff or torque converter, whatever it is that actually throws that drive line on both sides. We also, I hope we all know what an all-wheel drive is. There's it pulls all the tires at the same time. And once you have a four-wheel drive, then you can transfer torque to the tire that you need the torque to be at. So it transfers the torque to the tires that actually need it. But for an all-wheel drive, everybody has the same torque. Once you're driving, so that's why you always say if you want to go into the off-road, if you want to do off-road driving, you're better off using a four-wheel drive to do off-road driving instead of an all-wheel drive because of the all the tires have the same torque. But a four-wheel drive, you can extend the torque to the precise tire. If you get stuck in a mud, you're better off getting out with a four-wheel drive than an all-wheel drive. So if you've got an all-wheel drive, the proper manufacturer specification says that you want to replace one tire, you have to replace all four. And you have to have the same exact tread of tires on every single side of the car. No doubt, no capping, there's no, oh, maybe it doesn't matter. No, in this case, it does matter. If you have a four-wheel drive vehicle, it's always recommended you have the same tires as well. No debate. Because if you have an all-terrain on one side and you have a normal tire on the other side, you're 100%, the drive line doesn't even know what you're driving. It's going to complain that I can see good tread here. I can see tread that is almost 50% worn. You cannot tell me, oh, I put my spare on. Your spare is brand new and you've got a one tire on the other side. Always put the best tires together. So you're better off putting two tires. I will always say that even if you don't have money to replace all four tires on a four-wheel drive, on an all-wheel drive, that's not debatable. On a four-wheel drive, I would say make sure you have the same tread on both sides. So if you replace one tire, replace both of them in the front and in the rear. Most of the time, once you're driving in the inner city without driving off-road, you don't use four-wheel drive anyway. So it means all the torque still happens at the front. So if it just happens at the front, make sure you have the same tires on both sides, both at the rear and at the front. But if you've got a two front-wheel drive vehicle, make sure your tires are exactly the same on both sides. It messes up your transmission. That's one of the reasons we have poor transmission performance, and everyone keeps complaining, oh, this car, the transmission is bad. But you have different tires on both sides. So your tire messes with your suspension as well. It is connected to everything. Don't forget that everything actually relies on your tires to work perfectly well. And people who overload the cars with a lot of people, you're not doing your suspension any good. You're not doing your tires any good as well. Check your tire pressure. Most people overinflate the tires. Most people underinflate. And most people don't even put air at all. So you have to check your tires every single time. That one is no debate. You always have to do it. So, all right, let me quickly check. I think we did a poll on our WhatsApp, and let me quickly check that poll and bring. I think there were some topics that Mr. Bamdili said I should touch on as well. Let me just quickly check that poll and then quickly touch on some of those polls. I think one of it was tires. Okay. All right. So no, that's not it. Let me use my phone to quickly check what it is. One of it was tires. The other was. I did put it somewhere here. Okay. How to spot early signs of car problems. So when we're talking of vehicle problems, it depends on what you're looking at. So let's say we're looking at overheating. Now, when you use water in your system, which most of us use, and I hope we know water is a better dispenser of heat than coolant, but coolant has additives that doesn't let your cooling system rust. So it is very paramount you put coolant in. Now, if you put water in, it's not like it will work, but there's going to be a lot of rust in the cooling system. And once you start having rust, you start having major problems. Those are the things you don't want to have. Now, if you find a vehicle that has got head gasket, there's something we call a combustion leak down tester. That's the that's the best way to know. That is the best way because if you have a slow head gasket leak, there's no way to tell. Now, the combustion leak down tester only tests for CO2 in the coolant. We put it on, we pump it, it just automatically goes through. Once it senses CO2, it turns the blue liquid into kind of, I think, yellowish, light yellow. Then you know you've got a blown head gasket. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And most of the time, your heater will not work. Once your heater doesn't work, most of the time you've got a blown head gasket. Hiace, Toyota Hiace has this problem a lot. You almost not know, but once your heater doesn't work, it's kind of telling you that there's something wrong somewhere as well. So you can have it could equally be the heater core or you not being able to flush your cooling system properly. So when you check vehicles that probably doesn't have proper coolant put in them, you're pretty much inviting some problems because the person is not looking after the vehicle as the manufacturer specified. You're going to buy problems. So another way most people look at it, you take the cap off, you start the car, the water will start to erupt, or maybe the bubbles will be excessive as well. That's another way to tell. But combustion leak down test is the best way or the most accurate way to tell. So that's number one. Number two, suspension and brakes, everything that has to do with the suspension system in Nigeria, most vehicles and most terrains are bad for that. Double check with a mechanic. The best way, actually, let me don't lie to you, is you do a pre-purchase inspection. We call it a pre-purchase inspection. Get a mechanic to actually double check, or get a proper mechanic to actually have a look. Let them make sure that there are no eating problems. There are vehicle manufacturers that are specific to some problems. So you double check those problems. As long as you don't have those problems, you're all good. So it pretty much depends on who you take down there. It depends on what they are going to check. So if you find proper mechanics, I'm sure there's a lot of proper mechanics in this webinar, and I'm sure that most of them have something to say. That's exactly how we know what we're looking at because we've seen most of these problems before. So let me go to the simple routine maintenance. We've covered that. Understanding dashboard lights. Yeah, there's there's even more lights now than we used to know. It used to just be the battery sign. It used to be just the engine light. You've got ABS. You've got traction control. You've got um, brake light, switch light. So right now we've got multiple, even way more than anything. So we can cover some lights and what they actually mean as well. Maybe one of the other webinars will cover that because that is going to take us a fair bit of time to talk about most of those lights as well. So how often should we service different car parts? I've already touched on that as well. we already know what to do now. So practice car tips on daily driving. I I'm not when it comes to daily driving, if I have to fill my coolant, whether it's the overflow tank or it's normal radiator filling, if I have to fill it every morning, it doesn't make any sense. It means it's leaking. I don't see why it shouldn't leak. So, and there are times where we overfill those tanks too, as well. Sometimes when you turn your car off, it retains coolant. Now, until it pours back the coolant that is inside the tank, inside the engine back out, most of the time you have already overfilled the tank because you fill it every morning. And it has to be able to dump coolant back into it. So don't overfill it. You see the full sign. Don't fill it more than the full sign. It has an F, it has an E at the bottom. Don't overfill it because it actually takes coolant and it dumps coolant back as well. So you can fill your radiator. That radiator cap, make sure it is completely full. That one is fine. But your overflow tank cannot be 100% full because you need it to be, you need the system to be able to dump coolant in and suck the coolant back as well. So that's one thing. Oil. If your engine is bad, it will always chew oil. Then you have to check it. But if your engine is very good, you don't have to. Like, I don't see why you should do it even in 6 months. I don't see why you should have to check your oil in 6 months. It is good practice if you want to do it, but I don't see why you should check it. It's perfectly fine. Then your battery. Once you start noticing your car starts with like more than once, or it takes time to actually crank over, tell them to check your battery. If not, you keep burning your starter. There's a lot of things that relies on your battery. If you have bad battery, those things will be there. What other thing is there to talk about? Like, there's multiple things. I don't think standard practice. I don't check my own oil in the morning. I don't check my own coolant because I know that they are fine. But maybe every 2 months, 3 months, I just do a routine check of everything. Make sure, okay, my tires are not getting bald. I double check real quick and then get out of there. But some, unless maybe I've checked it, I've done a service on it, and I know that these things are getting low. Once I already know, I put them down, and then before the next service, I double check them so I'm safe. So I think I should leave it at this point, and maybe we'll start having specific questions. Then maybe it's easier for me to actually talk about most of this, maybe car manufacturers or whatever, in actual context. So if you have hybrid too, it's different. If you have electric car, it's different. And I think the electric vehicle, I think most manufacturers are saying the tires are different too. I'm not 100% sure. I've seen some that they decide to give us a different tire pattern for. So once you put it in, the manufacturer tells you you can't use this exact tire. This is the exact tire you use for electric cars. So we have to put that in consideration as well. So I'll leave it at that. Maybe when we start having questions, we start tailoring them to a specific brand or specific question that we want to answer as well. So I'll leave it back to Mr. Bamidele. Let me see if there's any other thing I was going to talk about. Yeah, it's just the tires. So, and then for people who live on off roads, you're better off buying an off-road tire. It's better you buy an off-road tire. So for people who live in places where you know that, oh, the road is bad, if you buy an off-road tire, it will help you more. It will help your suspension, it will help everything. So please buy the tire that you need for the road that you drive on. So thank you everyone for that. That's pretty much all I've got tonight. And if there's any other thing, we can go from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, boss, for your detailed analysis as always. Yes, we're going to be taking questions now. If you have any question, please do well to um, raise your hand. If you want to raise your hand to join the queue to ask question, you will see some three dots at the bottom of your screen, three dots like this. When you click it, you will see the hand icon. Click the hand icon, you'll be able to raise up your hand. Please let us do that. Some hands are coming up, but before I go to the hands, let me just there's a question on the um, on the chat box. Mr. Lawal said, "How can a mechanic in Nigeria do the software updates?" That was when you were talking about software updates for cars. So, how can mechanic in Nigeria do software updates?
See, unfortunately, it has to be done by the manufacturers, because I see a lot of people tell me, oh, we can do the updates, or we can do flashing. We're flashing the ECU. And I'm like, do you have the right software to do it? Oh, there's a jailbreak software. I don't think, yeah, I don't know much. I don't know much about flashing and all of those things, but one thing I'm sure about is it has to be done the right way. So it means the best thing is get access to Toyota's original software. That's the only way you can do it. So all this, you notice that most vehicles, once they come to Nigeria, maps don't work anymore. The maps don't work at all. So the problem is that they're supposed to have map update for our region, because the map update is dependent on the region that you're working with, and our terrains are different. There's no Alagbado in the US. There's no Oshodi in the US. So, and there's no maybe Florida County in Nigeria too. So they have to, Google Map has to have gone through your own country and do the survey. So every time you're doing this map update, they would have probably gone through some of the new terrains. Maybe there's a new estate that they want to add to it. They would have done the survey, they would have added the new estate. So maybe Alagbado estate came up, and then there's a new road that the government has done. If they don't do the map updates every time, those new roads will not be included in what you know. So that's why people use their phones. It gets updated most of those times, unless they've not come to do like the capturing of that environment. And another thing that gets done most of the time is the ECU updates. We like there's majority, there's a lot of updates that actually has to happen with most cars. But the best way that I know, maybe there's a different way, but the best way that I know is you have to have access to the manufacturer. So Eliza Day has to be the one to do your map update, has to be the one to do your any update or ECU update that you have to do. It has to go back to the manufacturer, and which we have less manufacturers in Nigeria. So this is a government thing. The government has to compel manufacturers to come. We are happy that you sell your cars here, but come and have presence here, so that if we have issues, we can actually bring them to you, because those are the things you're there for. So unfortunately, it is what it is. Now there are some aftermarket softwares that are able to do a lot of things now. So I think Hotel is doing very well now. We're able to do some with Snap-on. We're able to do some with Launch. We're able to do some with like very, very nice reputable softwares. Now they are beginning to come up with. You're able to do major relearn, maybe injector relearn, TPMS. Like there's a fair bit we can do now compared to what it used to be. Now um, independent companies are beginning to partner with manufacturers and say, like, give us something. In Australia, they made sure I can have access to any software that I want if I can pay for it, so that way I can help my customers a lot more. Like I won't be stopped when there is a problem and the dealership can't deal with that problem. I will be able to deal with it because I can actually have access to that software as well. As long as the customer can pay me, I can have access to it. So the government has to do a little bit more on that. And I don't think they even know that those kind of things exist. So unfortunately, my brother, don't know what else to tell you. That's exactly what my question and answer would be. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. BS3 Auto Welcome, sir. It's always good to have you. Mr. BS3 AutoCare.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, sir, before you go
Thank
on, please,
you.
just a moment. Just a moment, sir, before you go
Okay.
on. Please, if we have questions, I beg us, please let us raise our hands. It's not like when it's already getting to 5:30, we'll now be raising multiple hands and we'll be spending even longer than we want to. Please, let us raise our hands now so we can know how quickly to manage our time. Please let us raise our hands. If you are struggling to raise your hand, if you check the bottom of your screen, you will see three dots at the bottom of your screen. When you click the three dots, you will be able to raise your hand. You will see one hand icon there. You will click it and you'll be able to raise your hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you are shy, you can type your question in the chat. Anyone works. Please let us all raise our hands now so we can manage our time. Thank you, Mr. BS3, sir. Please go on.
All right. Thank you, sir. I want to appreciate Mr. Gbenga for this wonderful presentation because this goes a long way in sharpening our orientation as far as manufacturers' specifications are concerned. But I just have a questions and a request as well. Regarding we in the last webinars, we talk about my user manuals, or repair manuals rather, and he promised to send a copy, or let me say it's a particular site that we can access it. I personally, I need a repair manual. I want to have access to some of these manufacturer repair manuals. So I don't know if there is a way you can help me out. I will appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, boss. I think what I did there are some sites. I think most of those sites I display them while we are doing it, and I say just copy it down. So let me go and remember the ones that I think there's I'll find those ones that are shared, and I'll
Okay.
just type them and put them on the WhatsApp group
Sorry,
because
sorry,
this
sir. I don't know if
group
I can chat you privately on this.
you can even if like I said, I'm sure that there are some few people who have chatted me privately.
Okay.
I don't have a problem. If you have a question and you chat me privately, if I have the answer, I'll definitely say it. And then don't forget that most questions that is put on that same WhatsApp group, most times I don't even have to answer because some people already have answers to most of this, and even some answers you even know. So when I get there, I'm like, okay, these things exist. Okay, then I learn from it too. So if you put your questions, chat it, send it to me, and then make sure we put it there. You might have a better answer even than what I'll give to you. Because there are people in that group that are even that have gone far in what in this whole thing. But if you can chat me privately if you have any questions or any problems.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Next on the queue is Mr. Idris. Mr. Idris Abdul, are you there, sir? Mr. Idris, are you there? Kindly unmute your mic. I think your mic is still muted.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. And Mr. Benga, I really wanted to appreciate your effort on this webinar.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
it's a really amazing program. I'm also impressed, seriously, with all the information you have been downloaded to us. I want to say, may God bless you more and more and continue to protect you. Now, my
Amen.
question is based on the fuel efficiency of the car and at the same time the fuel tank of the car. I think you were saying something about the uh, what does it called? The coolant system. There should be a F and E, which is on the tank for the what does it called? The I'm sorry, this coolant tank. So this, I think it's replica of it on that of the same fuel tank, which is there is a little hole in the tank that transfer the uh, air emission from the tank over the air, so that there won't be a swell up of the tank, or what does it call? The explosion of the tank while driving. So this thing, I think there should be a little difference in between it. If you can have a little explanation on it, I want to get more information on this thing, because as you are explaining it, I'm trying to imagine it up together with the experience of that fuel tank. I mean, as you are talking about it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so when it comes to fuel tank, right, there's something that is called the canister. Now, your canister, so okay, let's do it this way. Okay, all right. Now, once you fill up your engine, now, once you hear that click, don't continue filling it. Because once you continue filling after that click, you are number one, you're wasting your money. Number two, you're overfilling the canister because the fuel actually just goes slightly into the canister. Now, what the canister does is that it recycles all the gas that cannot go out of the exhaust system. It recycles those gas, keeps it there, and let it be. I think the only gas that goes through your exhaust is CO2 and helium. Those are the only two gases that come out. Every other gas that gets broken down in the combustion chamber stays in the canister. Now, if you overfill the canister, how is it? If you overfill the tank, it goes over the tank. So most manufacturer make sure the hoses go over the tank, over the fuel tank inside it. So it goes over it, goes recircles inside just that system. So when you overfill it, there's nowhere for the gas to go through. So then you start having problems. Now, when it comes to filtering, there's a lot of problems that we have because of the type of fuel that we use. In Nigeria, I think there's only one fuel. I've not seen any filling station have more than one type of fuel. But here we have four. We have E10, we have 91, we have 95, we have 94, we have 85. Now, for each of this one, the more ethane, ethanol you have in most of this, the faster it burns. So if you've got an E10, it burns faster than 91. If you've got a 91, it burns faster than a 95 and a 94. A 95 and a 94 burns faster than 98 is the best. It's a premium fuel. It will burn less than every other fuel. So it's more expensive, right? So the problem is most vehicles that we go out to most countries and we buy their cars. But unfortunately, we are running it with the wrong fuel. So it is very, very, very important. And don't forget, having the right fuel, if your fuel is already diluted, it means that your combustion chamber will explode and give the gases that the catalytic converter cannot break down. It will not be able to break that exact gas down because it doesn't have the capacity to break it down. So now you start having emissions on things you're not supposed to have emission on. Then we start smelling what we're not supposed to inhale. So which is a health hazard as well. So with that, I don't think there's anything we can do about it because we are not the ones who do the fuel and all of that. So, but this is where the problem is. And for our brothers that always take out all the particles inside your catalytic converter and say, you know what, the driver like that is good, no problem. You can see what you're causing now. Because the O2 sensor, they cannot even measure anything on upstream and downstream. The catalytic converter has to be, you cannot, like, there's no nothing to compensate for it. There's nothing to calculate your fuel trim. There's nothing to reduce the gas that goes out through the exhaust. Nothing else does that. It's the cat that does it. So that's why you notice that most people drive without a catalytic converter, and you complain that, oh, the fuel, it takes too much fuel, or you're having fuel trim faults. If you have those codes, it comes for a reason. And I hope that once you have your inlet, well, shall I say inlet, combustion chamber, once it's running rich, your exhaust will be running lean. Once your exhaust is running lean, your once your exhaust is running rich, your combustion will be running lean. So it means that if it's running rich in the exhaust, it will just keep getting clogged up with carbon, getting clogged up with carbon. Now your O2 sensor gets blocked up. So there's multiple things that have you cannot alter the system and then come and complain that there's a problem. There's a reason they put a cat in there. There is 100% a reason. So you decide that, oh, if you break it, it lets it breathe more. No, if there is not a problem now, it's not just to breathe. That's why the cat is there. If it's blocked, replace it. Or you do like intake clean. So your fuel, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about fuel. It's bad, it's bad. It's the country, there's not much we can do about it. But there's a lot of things that you can do, and at least try to make your car drive a lot better. So that's why I have most times my mechanic back in Abuja, they're telling me they're servicing the nozzle, servicing the injectors. I'm like, who services injectors? I've not pulled an injector out to service it. Like I have actually not pulled one out to service it. If it's bad, it goes bad, and then I fix it. I change it. But there's no service interval that I've ever seen that has told me to pull out that injector and service it. Yes, the only reason we're doing that is because the fuel that we've got is bad. Now, number two, the fuel filter that you've got inside it, you have never changed it for the last 20, 15, 10, 15 years. Most of us buy a 20-year car and you don't do things like this. If the person who has driven it to before has never replaced it before, it was just going to be like that. So there is a lot of things that has to happen if you want your car to perform, have the best performance in life. Those things have to you. It's not debatable. There's not much you can do about it. So I think we can treat fuel system maybe one of these webinars because there's more to it than what we know. So I will leave it at that so other people can ask their questions too. I hope, Mr. Idris, I
Okay.
touched a bit of what you wanted, sir.
Yes, I do. I do. I really appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Just a moment before I go back to the hands. Just to be sure, car diagnosis report, sir. Welcome, sir. Are you trying to contribute to what Mr. Banjo just said, or is another question entirely? Car diagnosis, Mr. Car diagnosis, sir. Can you hear me? Okay, I guess maybe it's a question. Uh, are you there, sir? Is it a question? I just want to be sure if it's a question. Okay, I'm assuming it's a question. Let me just read. So on the chart, I'm taking it according to as it comes. On the chart, somebody said, I'm coming. Um, I just got a Volkswagen Jetta 2008. I serviced it with total engine oil, 5 liters. After gauge, it falls between my mind and max. Do I need to add 1 more liter to it? That's Mr. Bolaji.
See, unfortunately, it is if it's not gauged, it's not gauged. But if it's a Jetta and it's a 2 liter engine or maybe a 1.6 liter, so the Jetta has 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and 2 liter. So which one are we talking about? So if it's a 1.4, 1.6, 1.8 liter engine, it shouldn't take more than maybe 3.8 to 4.1 liter of oil. It shouldn't take more than that. I don't think it takes more than that. But for a 2 liter, maybe 4.2 or 4.5 at the max. So a 5 liter oil should already be gauged. Either that or your dipstick is wrong. That's another problem. If your dipstick is wrong, there's no way you can gauge the oil. But if you feel that your dipstick is the right one, it's until it gauges now. There's not much you can do about that. If you don't put more than 5 liter into it, if you have put more than 5 liter, I don't think it's normal. And then if it's diesel as well, maybe it might be more. So which one are we talking about? 1.3, 4, 1.6, 1.8, or 2 liter? And is it diesel or is it petrol? So please clarify that. If you clarify that, then we'll probably come back to your question, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. And you can also continue this conversation on even the WhatsApp group, ask, and I'm sure there'll be answers more coming for you. But if you're still here, please feel free to ask. So Mr. Lawal Adekoye just said he could not raise his hand. Mr. Lawal, are you still there? Mr. Adekoye, if you are here with us, unmute your mic. Mr. Lawal, are you there? Unmute your mic. Since you couldn't raise your hand, if you want to unmute your mic, if you check the bottom of your screen, you will see one microphone icon or logo. Click it, you'll be able
Okay.
to unmute your mic. All right, go on, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Engineer Debanjo, Engineer Idowu. God bless you for your seamless presentation. This is my first time of joining, and the presentation
Okay.
has been very, very impactful. Very,
All right.
very impactful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the sacrifice. Um, I'm a mechanic in Nigeria. So one of the challenges we have, in fact, you have mentioned most of the challenges we have in Nigeria. So the question I now have is, you have answered the first one. So the second one is about, is there any way we can get the software of all these auto dealership, that's the manufacturer software, how we can get it instead of meeting them? Because sometimes some of our customers can't afford um the, what's it called, the fee they are going to charge them at the dealer workshop. So I feel like, okay, we should do it for them. So is there any way we can have access to all those sites where we can get it done?
Okay, see, I think, like I said, I was mentioning that there's some scan tools that we can have access to now that has got a lot that we can do a lot of these things with. So yes, it might not be from the dealer, but those scan tool companies have access to some of the dealer manuals, or they have access to those updates. So for example, Hotel is doing very well. So you just have to buy a very good scan tool. I think the one I use is Snap-on. It's called Snap-on. With my Snap-on, I think that's 10,000. The one we use in AutoFixer Nigeria, we've got Snap-on, we've got Hotel. Now, the newer the scan tool, the more you'd be able to do. So I think let's buy newer scan tools. Let's buy with newer scan tools, you'll be able to do a fair bit. You'll be able to do quite a lot. Right now, they're getting really, really better at getting those aftermarket softwares into those scan tools, and then we're able to do most of those things. So it's just having access. So if you go to Parts School, you'll be able to see some of the things you need, and then use your scan tool, connect it to the internet, and it will kind of point you, majority of the time, it will point you the right direction as well.
Okay, thank you. I've got clarity on that. Thank you so much, sir. Then my next question is, we have this code on most Highlander, let's say started from 2000 and not even 2005, 2005, 2012, Toyota Camry, Toyota Highlander, Toyota Corolla. They always have this code. That's one of my challenge. So they have a code that has to do with a heated oxygen sensor. Talks about the auto sensor circuit high, and whereas it is connected. So, but in most cases, we'll remove the sensor, we'll test it with our multimeter, we'll discover that it's reading, then we'll check for the value online, we'll discover that we have the right value. But when we put it back, it will still be bringing the same problem. I've had one of my customer called me from Ghana. He said he took it to a mechanic 2012 to Islander to Thailander. They replaced the O2 sensor for him, yet the code is still there. He now asked me to buy the thing for him. Maybe they're not getting the right one over there. So, but I still have a reservation. I didn't want to buy anything, and I will send it down there, and the problem will still persist. So, I want to ask: does it have any relationship to do? Does it have anything to do with the ECU update, or is it a problem with them generally?
So it's a fuel train problem. So what we need to remember is, if we go to the basics, what does your O2 sensor does? It measures oxygen that comes in and out. So it measures the one in the top stream and downstream. Now, which one is complaining? Are you having a problem with the downstream or the upstream? Before the cut or after the cut? Which one? Is it bank one or bank two?
In most cases, it used to be the bank one, then bank
So if
one,
it's bank
sector
one,
two.
if it's bank one, so it means that's before, so that's like on the cart itself. If it's a Camry, there's one on the cart and there's one on the inlet, and there's usually one at the back as well.
And it's
So in
V6, sir.
and out.
It's V6.
V6. Okay, so we have sometimes we have four on some of
Yes.
those V6s. So either we have four, we have two. So we have two. So sensor one, bank one, sensor one, uh, bank one, sensor two. So it means that's still inlet. So that's on the catalytic converter. So the point is, what you have to also consider is the type of fuel they're using. So if the fuel trim, so usually when you have a fuel trim issue, you would always have an O2 sensor fault code. Because if the bank one is running rich, bank two will be running lean. So if the combustion chamber is running rich,
Yeah.
exhaust will run lean. If the exhaust is running rich, the other one will run lean. So there's a lot of things that you have to put into consideration. Let's now find out, is the catalytic converter blocked? It could equally
Not
be an exhaust fault.
okay.
So
Not
it how did you tell? How can you tell 100%? Did you work on the car? That you're just going off what they told you. I'm sure if you see the car, you have a different opinion.
okay. Okay.
Do you understand? So
Yes,
going
sir.
off someone else's diagnosis sometimes can put you in the wrong information. It can give you the wrong information. So most time, what people do is, once you have an O2 sensor fault, they want to go and change the O2 sensor. No, there's multiple things that contributes to fuel trim and O2 sensor fault. It's either something is blocked, or the gas, or another major thing that I've noticed is that if you've got a fuel that burns faster, what will go on in the system is that it will keep dumping more fuel into that system. Once it keeps dumping more fuel, there's going to be residue of fuel coming into the exhaust instead of gas alone. That's
Okay.
another thing put into consideration. So you can have issues like that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me. I think my charger is my computer is going to die off. So you can have issues like that. We have to make sure that you're not sweating too much fuel, or you are not having less fuel into the combustion chamber, and then the gases that are supposed to come to the catalytic converter is not. So we need to know what fuel they are using. So either tell him that, okay, go and try fuel from another filling station. So
Okay.
let's be sure. If it's a fuel problem, you have an O2 sensor, which cause it's going to be telling you that the fuel trim is not the right one. So multiple problems. So you have to test for those things before we know what we're talking about.
Okay, okay, thank you so much, sir. So
God bless.
my last is not a question, is we are is an appeal. So please do well to help us send the service maintenance guide, like the repair, and then another thing, can we get a repair bulletin? Because sometimes we go online, we see some stuff like that, but we are limited to have them. Some of them are not free, why we can't, we were unable to download some. So I don't know if you can help us with some link where we can have some repair manual, just like the other listener mentioned earlier.
Okay, and let's keep reminding me on the WhatsApp. So if you're part of the WhatsApp, I would do my best to find a place where it's easier for everybody to download it. I think there was one the last time, but I'll try to find it again. So we'll go from there, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir.
All right, so thank you.
I use the mic.
Right.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Okay, just a moment. I think. Malgashi, you're still with us, yeah?
Yes,
Okay, I
yes.
think.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
okay. Let me just read this before I go back to the ants. Flame said, I have a Ford Ranger XLT 2012. We did an engine conversion from manual to automatic. So the current engine and gear is a 3RZ Toyota engine and gear. Our observation is that the engine doesn't kickstart, doesn't kick down. That is, it doesn't accelerate when the gas pedal is pressed at the gear 1, 2, 3. What could be the challenge, or what do you recommend to solve the problem?
okay. Unfortunately, I know we do that here too. We put, as long as it fits and the bell housing is the same. So another thing you need to put into consideration when you do all of that and you still leave the ECU of the Ford Ranger and you have put a Toyota engine. So what then happens to it? So I think what your problem is a communication problem. If the engine or if the ECU cannot tell what the wheel speed sensor is doing, or if you have decided to take the wheel speed sensor out saying, don't worry, we'll just come out this one, we'll cut this one. Whatever you cut, whatever you do, you're going to have a communication problem. So I don't think, because I've never seen it to, okay, maybe let me ask around. Let me ask around. I've never seen it to this 3RZ engine inside a Ford Ranger. I've never seen one. So, but with what you're trying to explain to me, it's not like it's not starting, it's not like it's not even driving, but it finds it hard to drive in most of those cases. So I think it's a communication problem. So the ECU might not be communicating with every part of the vehicle, and then scan the car. Let's know if there's any. So giving me this, I can give you multiple ways or multiple things to think about. But if you tell me if there's a code in the ECU, so come on the WhatsApp. If there's any code on this, you send it there. So that way I can have a better framed answer to give to you and tell you, "Oh, check this. No, I think you should go and check this. I think this is what the problem is." And then I can equally help you check most of these engine conversion guys and ask them, when you replace this, do you have to replace the ECU? Because I'm sure, kind of sure, that you definitely have to replace the ECU. The ECU has to be able to talk to the engine. But I doubt if a Ford ECU will be able to talk to the Toyota engine. So, and then it means you need to replace the key, you need to replace the whole, like the security set. We call them security set, which is the ECU, the board, BCM, the transmission control module, everything all at once. Because you have changed it, you have replaced it from what it used to be to a different thing. So you have to replace all of those things as well. So then maybe you might have a better luck with all of those things. But best thing is Scan it, let me know what it says. Then I can give you a better answer, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, let me just go back to the ants. We have a lot of ants. Mr. Car Diagnosis Report, are you there, sir? Are you with us now, sir? Kindly unmute your mic. I don't know if okay, go on, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please go on.
Thank you. My name
We can barely hear you.
Sir, I think your audio is bad though. Please help us check your audio. We can't hear you.
Is it better?
Yes,
Yes.
please go on.
Hello, okay. I wanted to ask, in respect of the catalytic converter you mentioned. You know, in Nigeria, we have like I said, we have like three grade of materials in our market. There's this one they call either China or Korea catalytic converter. Can it still serve the purpose of the original one? Because most times once the original one is out, or maybe the thing block, or somehow those dealer they remove them before they get to Nigeria. If we put this Korea, can it still serve the purpose?
You see, I don't, there's nothing like China, there's nothing like Korea, there's nothing like manufacturing. Every single aftermarket person who manufactures catalytic converter to any manufacturer, what happens is the manufacturer hands over the pattern of that precise catalytic converter to those guys. Those guys now replicate it and give it to us. There is nothing like material. I have never heard of it. So I'm not giving you an information that I'm telling you I don't know. I've never heard of that. If I need a catalytic converter here, I go to the aftermarket guys or the dealer, whichever one I want to buy. Is the same exact material. It's the same exact thing. There's nothing like, oh, one material is this one, the other material is that. No. So, and let's be clear on something. China produces everybody's parts. I like, yes, some countries produce parts in their countries, but they still have to source for some of the parts from China. Those for Korea, which is Toyota, all of they still have to source majority of the parts from China because of their mineral resources deposit, right? But China actually manufactures almost all the parts. So there's nothing like Chinese parts are bad. No, it is the parts that we told them to make for us that is bad. So the same parts that they use in their system is what we use here. Those parts are not what we use in Nigeria. So it is our brothers that go there and make exactly what they want. So there's nothing like, oh, China makes one, but no. Do you notice that the car they drive in their country is different from the one that comes to Nigeria? They make all the parts. Let's not lie to ourselves. They make all the parts. They even produce most of the cars too. So how come the same person produces the parts in their system and they give warranty, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years warranty on the same parts in their own system, but they don't give it to us? It's because we have decided to make substandard goods. That's as simple as that, nothing more. So my other, it is because they have made the wrong parts. That's why they are telling you one material is this, that material is that. No, I don't think, I don't know. I don't think that's right, but I don't know if it is right or wrong. So that's my own contribution to that, sir.
Car Diagnosis, I actually muted you because of the echo. I don't know if you were still talking or if
No,
you
no,
are
I wasn't.
okay now.
I was listening.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
okay, great. All right,
I
thank you, sir.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir. Okay, next on the queue is Mr. Ocheme Gideon. I'm so sorry if I can't pronounce your name well. Mr. Gideon, are you there, sir? Kindly unmute your mic, please.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
sir.
sir.
Please go on, sir.
Yeah, I really want to appreciate your effort for putting this kind of program together. It has been an educative one. I'll look forward to how more in future. Yeah, my question goes to the coolant system. There's a kind of thing we do here in Nigeria, whereby if your car um does overheating regularly, the technician will always advise you to either remove your thermostat or fixing your fan directly. So I want to ask because a lot of people complain about it that this practices is not right. So I want you to enlighten me on this more. Is it right for one to remove the thermostat of the car? And is it also right for one to put a fan on the direct system? That's my
Okay.
question.
Okay. Thank you, boss. So, all right. This is a very important one. And we've treated it before if you were on most of our webinars. There's no there's no substitute for your thermostat until, see, I don't think most of them understand what the thermostat does. The thermostat only is only there to say when the engine is too hot, it closes. When the engine is too cold, it opens. That's all it does. It's just to make sure that your engine doesn't have hot air, hot coolant all the time. So when it's hot coolant and it wants to change it over, it opens, lets the coolant flow out, and then the new coolant comes in. In the meantime, while that is happening, so I'm just explaining this the the most unprofessional way that I can think about it, so that most people who are not mechanics will understand it as well. In the meantime, while that exchange is going on, what then now happens? The fan turns on to cool the engine. It cools down the engine in the meantime, just to make sure that everything is cool. Once it goes around and the water exchanges, the fan goes off, and then the engine continues the problem. Now, nobody should take out your thermostat, because that process that I've just said now, there's nobody there to actually tell when the engine is hot or when the engine is cold. And that's the job of the thermostat. Now you have taken it off, it means the engine will be always cold or always hot, which kills the engine. Number two is that connecting your fan directly does not make any sense. What are you connecting? It's a thermo fan. It comes on when it needs to work. When it doesn't need to work, it goes off. It doesn't automatically cool your engine. Like, why do you want your engine to be always cold? Why? And you're driving every single time. Why? Your engine has to be hot at some point. It gets to a particular degree, like every time. But if it is always cold, then how does it work? So don't let them do that. See, if you have a blown head gasket, just fix your blown head gasket. If you have a water pump problem, your water pump is the one that distributes water completely to every part of the engine. So if your water pump doesn't distribute properly, then let's fix the problem instead of taking the thermostat out, where the engine cannot tell when it's hot or when it's cold. When you put it directly, it's always cold. Why? Do you understand? We should never, ever, ever have to do that. There's a reason they put it in the first stage. And all these ones that you get, that they tell you that there's one climate for one. No, there's no climate. I don't think there's any climate for any car. But there is different coolant for different system. Now you can decide to change the coolant, because there's anti-boil and then there's anti-freeze. When you are in a very cold system, you use the right coolant. When you are a very hot system, you use the right coolant. That's the only difference I can see. Other than that, fix what the problem is. Another thing that they decide to do or say is that, if you don't do it, your car won't work perfectly well. There's nothing like that. We don't have the hottest climate in our life. People buy cars from Dubai. Dubai is hot, hotter than Nigeria. At least if some of us have been there, some of us have been there. So some of us that have been there knows that Dubai is hot. They don't because of that take the thermostat out. They just use the right coolant. They use the right coolant that cools the system a lot better than what we do. And the coolant that we have in Nigeria is not coolant. I swear, it's just like somebody decided to go and mix. What do we do? What do we call this coloring when we were in school? Tie and dye, all this tie and dye color. Because it is so bad. I bring coolant from here. Premix, there's premixed and there's concentrated coolant. Premix means they've already mixed it with coolant, with water, with distilled water already, so you can put it in. Concentrated means that you have to mix it yourself. So it means that if you've got a 1 liter concentrated, you can mix it to 2.5 liter of coolant. Or if you have maybe a 5 liter of coolant, you can mix it to 10 liters. That's what it is. But in Nigeria, every coolant that I see is already pretty much like water. If you put a coolant strip in it, it's already bad. It's telling you it's already bad. So is the brake fluid. We did a brake fluid test on a brand new brake fluid that I just bought, and it failed. So how is that brake fluid going to make your braking system perfect? It's bad. Most of those fluids are bad already, even before you put it in the car. So I don't know who or how most of these son, you recommend something, or you approve something that is already bad. I can share you a video of my workshop in Abuja doing that exact brake test. So there's a brake test tool. Once you put it in, if the brake, it measures the moisture in the brakes. So once it measures that moisture, and so through voltage, it measures the voltage in that same brakes. Once you measure it, it will tell you if it's good or it's bad. So once we measure it and it is bad, we do a brake fluid flush. We take out the brakes and we put new brake fluid in. But every single one that I bought, once I test it is bad. Once I test it is bad. So at the end of the day, I had to put one that I brought from here inside the person's car because it's already bad. So what we are looking at, what the problem is the type of fluid and the type of parts that we have in the system. So it is not entirely a mechanic's fault. A mechanic doesn't make the parts. Our Ladipo, the guys who are in Ladipo, the part sellers are the ones who goes to buy the part, but they are already buying a terrible part already, including fluids. So anybody can tell me, oh, I'm saying rubbish or it doesn't make any sense. It's a lie. But there are parameters to test all of those things. And those are the parameters I used. So unless they are telling me the parameters I'm using, which are recommended, is bad. So unless that's the case, then I will 100% agree that, okay, well, this manufacturer said we should test it this way. And they are saying it's bad. The way that we're testing is the wrong way. No problem then. What we have is good there. So, but unfortunately, it is terrible. So, my brother, it is not the right way. Your coolant, so if they've done it to your car, go back, tell them to put the thermostat back, and then put the fan back to the right way. If you want to say something, sir.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So, Bamidele, back to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so let me take one more hand before I go back to the chat. Mr. Yomide John. Mr. Yomide John, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Can you hear me? Good
Yes, sir.
evening.
Please go on, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes. Please, I was the one who asked through Flames the question about Toyota Ford Ranger and a Ford Ranger and a Toyota engine
Okay,
converted
okay.
into it. So I want to confirm. Thank you for the response, sir. I want to confirm if that ECU you are referring to is the same as the brain box. That's
Yes,
my
yes.
first
Is
question.
sorry. I was supposed to say brain box. Sorry, brain box. Yes,
Uh-huh.
that's it.
So they changed it to the Toyota type. They changed it to the Toyota type, but it's still not accelerating. Once you press the pedal down, the vehicle is supposed to move, but it's going to drag a little bit, then attain the maximum speed and start moving.
All right. So then, what do you have any code in the when you scan it? Do you have any codes?
No, no, we didn't do any scan because the the whole wiring is no longer the same because we are not even sure if you scan it, you are going to get anything accurate because the whole conversion was done, you know. It's
Okay.
this Ladipo people that you just mentioned that handled it. So there is nothing professional about the conversion. I must tell you the truth, but they did it well. It's just that the it's not moving well. And what they said is probably the gear. This is like a third mechanic now we've taken it to. They said the gear is too small for it. Now we should use a 2RZ gear. So we replaced the gear. Not too long last week. It's still giving us, but right now it's peaking, but the gear is not selecting. It's kicking down now, but the gear is not selecting. When it gets to gear two, it doesn't change again.
Okay. So,
So,
unfortunately, there's with what you're telling me, there's a lot of problems already. Now
okay.
you have a 3RZ engine,
Mm.
and then you put a 2RZ gearbox,
Yeah.
saying because it's exactly the engine you put. It has to be exactly the gearbox that is going to accompany it. So there's nothing like let's put a 2RZ engine gearbox on a 3RZ engine. Doesn't make any sense to me. That's number one. Number two is that still try to scan it. Let's find out if you can talk to the ECU. But if you
Mm.
cannot talk to the ECU, there are few things I would say to do. Pull out. So is it revving like it's not going into gear, or it's revving like the car is struggling, or is completely blocked, or is struggling to move?
Yes.
But what?
Okay.
Oh, okay. What if you're on a slope? Now, if you're coming down a slope, does it change every single time, or is when you're going up the slope, or it doesn't matter what condition you're driving at, it
Yeah.
doesn't change?
It doesn't matter, sir. Even if you have on a plain slope, it
Yeah.
doesn't rev well. So it drags. What they said is the vehicle is too heavy for the gearbox to carry. That's why they changed it to that 2RZ. That the vehicle mass, the weight is too much. So they have to change it to that
If it's a quad
2RZ.
ranger, is it a 2.2 or a 3.2?
Uh, that I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir.
It will be written if you look at the passenger side vendor, just that panel, you see it, they will write it 2.2 or 3.2.
Okay.
So, my
Yeah.
brother, see,
Okay.
unfortunately, it has
Mm.
been like a lot has been done, but try to let's see. We might be wrong. Let's try to see if you can actually do a scan. If you can do a scan, then let's find out if there's anything we can find out from the ECU, because it is only the ECU that will be able to tell us what is going on. And please don't do it. It doesn't make any sense. There's nothing like the car is too heavy for the engine that came with it. It doesn't make a single sense. It's exactly, it has to be like for them to make that engine in that car 100%, it will be able to.
No, no, sir. The engine is not for the vehicle. The engine that came with the vehicle is a diesel engine and is a manual. So it was removed and we put a automatic Toyota engine into a Ford body. That's it, sir.
I see a lot of people tell me they convert cars from manual to automatic. My honest opinion is if you want an automatic, go and buy one. If you want a manual, go and buy one. Don't bother converting. It doesn't make any sense. Like you're going to be the amount of stress you're going to go through converting it, you would have gone to see the money you would have gone to use to buy an automatic car. It
You
doesn't
are
make
very
any sense.
correct, sir. You are very
There's
correct,
like
sir.
why are you stressing yourself that much? You want to conversion. If you have the right, see, it's like saying that you want to convert the right side to a left side. There is a conversion kit. If you do not have the proper conversion kit, go and buy. See, don't bother buying from UK and bring it in. Go and generally go and buy from the US. You'll probably be spending about the same money. So what's the point? Or go and buy the proper conversion kit. The proper conversion kit for a Toyota is about $3,500. That's you have not even sent it from the country that it is at. And then China has already started doing conversion kits now. You have to buy a new dashboard. See, just do it right. If you do it right, you won't have any problems. So, brother, I don't think there's any way back for you. I don't think. Or let them just, even if the problem is they've cut most of the wires now to fit that ECU of the Toyota. Now they cannot even return it back to the right way that the car came with, because they will not even remember where they cut most of these wires from.
Exactly, sir.
So scan. Try to find someone who's got a scan. Let's see if probably we can find something. Then we'll probably be able to go over with. We'll just join the WhatsApp group. If we find something, send it. So we can try. There's a lot of people in that WhatsApp group that will be able to probably help you as well.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, please can we hear you?
Not really. The voice is a bit too.
Uh, okay. I hope it's better now.
Yes, it's better. It's better.
Okay, let me see. I think we have maybe one more. Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. That's Mr. D. Lokiki. Not sure if you mentioned the particle, particulate filter during your maintenance session.
All right. So for most vehicles, most diesel vehicles that's got diesel particulate filter, so that's called DPF now. Ford, Mitsubishi, Toyota, Mazda, everybody's doing diesel particulate filter now. Now, what is going on with the diesel particulate filter? We are going to have more problems with it in Nigeria. So I would advise, don't buy it and bring it to Nigeria. Because what we had to do was, most of the Hiluxes, most of the Outlanders, Ford Ranger, Hyundai, it doesn't matter what manufacturer it is. So what happened was, it started blowing up and then it started getting clogged up. Now, what the oil manufacturers had to do was they made a different oil for it. So every vehicle that uses DPF uses a different oil. So we call them the C1, C2, C3, and C4 oil, and there's C5 now. So depending on the manufacturer, it tells you maybe it's a C1 I want on my own, it's C4, maybe a C5. Now, what only they did with that architecture was they added more sulfur to the I think phosphates. I think sulfur phosphates. I can't remember, but I know it's sulfur. I can't remember the full name of it. I know they added more sulfur, more sulfur to the oil just because of the DPF. Now they started adding AdBlue as well. So some of the vehicles have AdBlue and DPF and then turbo. So just that way, it completes the system and it allows, it reduces the amount of carbon emission that actually happens in the system. So that's the more reason they decided to do DPF. So you have to do a regen. There's something we call regeneration. Those regen has to be done at some service intervals. I think most of the time we ask them to do it every 60,000 Ks, because once that diesel particulate fills up more than 37 grams, I think it's 37 grams. I noticed that once it gets to 37 grams, I can't do a regen anymore. It will just block me out. It will tell me I can't do a regen. Then that's when it tells you to go and replace the DPF filter. That's a very expensive fix. Anyway, it's a very expensive fix. So most of the time we always do the regen. So before it gets to the last point, you do the regen. So I think if you are on the group chat, I did one on an Outlander. So I explained what I did. So Mr. Bamde, maybe you should repost that video, that video that I did, repost it on the group, so you would understand what the regen was all about. So you can do a regen with the scan tool, but the scan tool has to be a modern scan tool for you to do a regen. So if you have a DPF light on the dash, if you find anyone who's got a more recent scan tool, maybe 2024, 2025, 2023, they'll be able to do a regen for you. So, and you have to do it every now, every like probably every 40 or 60,000 kids, depending on the manufacturer you've got. So that's that on maintenance on the region. So over to you,
Okay.
Baba.
He also said, no, Mr. Ayo, please talk to Film. Flames will send the WhatsApp group to you. So join the group. Then, okay, join the group. I'm going to send a link to the chat in a moment. So when you join, you can, be sharing your updates there, or you can message Mr. Banjo privately. But for things like this, we always like it to be on the group so that other people can learn also to get the solution to the problem. All right. So
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Adenokiki also added that. Okay, Mr. Ayo, were you saying something? Okay, so Mr.
Yes,
Adenokiki.
I said thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, you're welcome, sir. So Mr. Adenokiki also said the person that asked the question about the diesel particulate. He said sometimes we do remove the injector nozzles from some vehicles and get them cleaned manually. Uh, I don't know if you want to say something about that.
What's the point now? There's injector cleaner anyway. There's injector cleaner that just pour in your fuel that cleans that fuel. So it's good. See, it's just that most of the time you're not charging for all this time that you're spending cleaning nozzle. So if we look at the proportion of my workshop, is that from you? I think there's a lot of noise from you as well. Okay. All right, thank you. So one thing that you need to remember is you have to charge according to the time you spend on a job. If I have to take out a nozzle, it's going to take me about almost let's say no matter how professional you can ever be, it will take you between 30 minutes to 1 hour to do both between the cleaning and the refitting. Sometimes it takes more. So who pays you for all the hours that you do on that? How much are you going to charge? So you have to understand that you have to be efficient in what you do. So cleaning out nozzle and all of those things, there's an injector cleaner for that. Just put it in, it cleans it. So if you have good fuel filter, if you do the right services at the right time, you won't have to take out the nozzle. Or well, maybe it's because of the fuel that we have. But if you have an injector cleaner, it actually breaks down any dirt that is on the injectors. So that's just what we do anyway. But if it's not there for Nigeria, in Nigeria, it's fine. But I don't think you should service your nozzle. What are you servicing it for? What do you mean by servicing? What are you doing? You're just pulling it out, clean, spraying fuel to clean the side that actually squirts fuel. Other than that, what else do you do? Maybe anybody who knows how to do an injector service, they can tell us what they do precisely, other than what I've just said. Car diagnosis. Mr. Okay. Mr. Okiki, please. Unmute, please, and speak, please. Thank you. You can unmute yourself and speak, sir.
Mr. Okiki, Mr. Adelokiki, please unmute your mic. Or let me unmute you from here? I can't do that.
Let's see if it comes up.
Mr. Adelokiki, there is a microphone icon at the bottom of your screen. You'll be able to unmute from there. Or you can just type.
Okay,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I really appreciate your program. Why I said that there is a Sorrento, a V6. When you remove the nozzle, you will see some particle at the inlet side, not even at where it's spraying. So means I'm surprised to find such thing there. So when we check out of the 6 nozzles, 2 were not working fine. Although that was a long time, That was around 2008, 2009. So we saw some particle inside the inlet size of the nozzle. So, but like you said, I agree with you, it's a waste of time. It took a lot of time to get to that nozzle where they had to remove the inlet manifold, everything to get there, and it's sometimes risky. And you might even have fuel leakage when you put them back, which can cause also a lot of problem. So you are right to change it. I just brought that one up.
So for the Sorrento, if it's direct injection, that's the only reason you're going to find particles there. And that's why I said that with most of the Hyundais, if it's direct injection, you have to use a top cylinder clean at every service as well. There's an upper cylinder cleaner. Subaru uses it too. Any Subaru car that you have, you always have to put an upper cylinder clean. No, there's nothing like, oh, maybe yes, maybe no. You have to put it every service too. So that's pretty much it. So Bamidele, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. I think that's all the hands. Let me see if I missed anything on the chat. Kindly recommend where to get original brakes and coolants in Nigeria.
Yeah, I don't know. Me, so I'm looking for, if anybody knows, GNII autos, auto deck. Who else? Mr. Egbewumi. Who else do we? I'm trying to remember people's names. If you people know, me too, I'm looking for. I don't know. I sincerely do not have an answer to that question. I mean, every single part that I bought, even from Elizade, I used to, most of my own clients are clients that I have to put the original parts for. Even from most of the Koshari's Elizade places that we buy from, they are still bad. And they only give 3 months warranty on it. So I don't know what else to say to that. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. So Bamidele, over to you. Me, I don't have any answer to that question. Unless somebody else has answers to that question, please.
Yes, sir. Or if I can add that, I don't know, if you talk to engineer directly, if you talk to engineer directly, he might be open to help you import if you want. He can help you buy. Should I make the announcement? Anytime he's coming to Nigeria, I can just help you bring it along.
No,
So,
how many people do I want to buy parts for? Let's leave it at that, please.
That's another thing.
Okay. All right, so we can go ahead.
Okay. Let me see. Advamdele, please, you will assist with the. Okay, yeah, we'll post the recording of this beautiful session. Yeah, we'll post it on our YouTube and share the link on the group. Okay, somebody agreed concerning the fluid test. Said you are completely correct regarding the fluids and tests. I think that will be all. Everything has gone awry from experience. I will never advise anyone to put an engine not designed for a car in it. Okay, very, very well said. I think that will be all. I'm not sure there's any hands up. So I want to appreciate everyone for being a part of this webinar. We have this webinar, in case you're joining us for the first time, we have this such like webinars every other. Oh, GNI, you have been here. Well done, sir. We do have these webinars like every other week of the month, and we encourage every one of us to always please participate. And your knowledge is valued. Like Malga would always say that it's not just about him. And you know that he's not, presently in Nigeria, and some of the things that might be spoken about, someone else you might be able to even help someone too from your contribution, as someone here in Nigeria. So we encourage us to please always be a part participate also in the group. And you might be wondering that who are we putting together this event? We are vehicle checks. I'm sorry about that. We are vehicle checks, and we are a vehicle reporting company. If you go to any of our websites, I'm trying to. So for those I want to, let me start with, for those I want to join the group, please check the chat. I've added the link to join the group. Please confirm if you can see it. Okay, if you can see it, please join the group and share to even your colleagues that are maybe mechanics. The group is going to be a very great listen to us. So we are a vehicle reporting company, and we have a large database on car information, and yeah, we are actually going to be having a lot of great announcements this year. The link to the group is it no longer on the chat? I posted the link to the group just a moment ago. A moment, please. I'm going to repost it. I'm going to repost it just in a moment. So to get access to our large database, you can go to vehicle checks. Just search www.vehiclechecks.net, and you will have access to a very large database. Just input your VIN, your VIN number, your email, and your phone number, and you'll be able to check the vehicle history reports. You'll be able to get also window sticker. We also have just the VI decoder. You want to just know more about a particular vehicle from either the US or the UK. We also have a stolen check database for some stolen vehicles, and you can also register a stolen vehicle. We also did a little extension called vehicle use, and very soon we are going to be merging these two products so that we can have all these functionalities in one place. So please stay tuned on the group. Very soon, updates will be sent. So vehicle use is for Nigeria and Nigerians. Here you are able to state the use of your car. You can see it as another level of security. So let us say, for instance, you have a company car. No one can go and sell, your car even behind you. Somebody can come to our platform and check a car and see that, oh, it's a company car, and from there save someone. Then we also have a product here called. Let me put the links on the chat. We also have a product here called notice of disposal. Notice of disposal helps you indicate that you have sold your car. So in the form, when you go to vehicle use, www.vehicleuse.com, please note that vehicle checks is .net and vehicle use is .com. If you go to vehicleuse.com, you'll be able to put in your notice of disposal, where you will fill in your form, and the person that you are selling to or that you have sold to is also going to fill in their part, indicating that that car is no longer under your own ownership. So please join us as we build this wonderful database. Thank you very much. If there will be no other questions or contribution, please let us keep the energy going on the group. The group is always very, very active. A lot of professionals are in the group. We also want to encourage you that if you will be, okay, I promise to repost the link to the group. If you'll be doing any business with anyone on the group, please do your due diligence to be sure and to verify before committing financially or committing any form of trust on the group. There are many people on the group, and we are not necessarily in control of anybody on the group. So the way you are joining freely like this is the way other people also have joined. So we encourage you to please do your due diligence before you commit financially to anybody. However, a lot of people on the group are professionals and we've not had issues on the group so far. So a lot of professionals are there. Please feel free to network. Great things are happening. Great people are in the group. Please don't spam our group with unnecessary messages. Only educational content. If you want to advertise a car related product or service, please message us, any of the admins privately, and so that we will tell you how to put it out. But it must be educational, it must be educative. That is what we give a pass mark for any advert. We are not just going to push products to people, but it must be educative. We must be learning something from you. Thank you very, 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 very much. And special appreciation to our Oga that is always awake, anytime that we are having these webinars. Thank you so very much, Engineer Banjo. Thank you, sir. Do you have any words before we close for today?
Oh no, there's not much. Thank you so much, everyone, for always coming through, and we really appreciate you. And like we say, I will keep bringing as much as I know. And if there's any particular topic you think that needs to be talked about, or you have any questions, any problems, please, I beg you, put it on the WhatsApp. I'm sure like 20 people will definitely talk to you or explain to you or try to help as well. And then please let's try to people who have workshops in Lagos. I don't know, maybe we should try to see how we can share most of our professional guys. Let's try to see how we can share their workshops so that we can network each other and say, see, I have a problem. You're in Lagos. Oh, no, no, I know you're in Lagos. You're in this exact place. Oh, okay, 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 please. I have this problem. Can I come to you? You understand? That's the only way we can know each other and help each other. Because if we don't help each other, there's no one to help us. So I think Mr. Bambi, let's look into that. Everyone that's got a
Okay, sir.
workshop, everyone that has got and please let us know your specialty. So if we say major diagnosis, if you're actually sticking to a particular mode car brand, let us know too. So share your company name, share the brands that you do, and then share your location. We put it on. So everybody save people who are in your location. So if you have major problems, and then please let us know what you have and what you don't have. If you have a newer diagnostic tool, or maybe say someone like GNII, he's got a fair bit of tools. Do you understand? So let's know. If you already know, maybe you want to do compression test and you know GNI has it, call GNI and say, Oga Alpha, please do. We can network from there, and then he can help you quickly do what you're supposed to do. If he wants to come to you or you want to go to him, we can do that. So that way we keep the car fixing thing as simple as good as possible. So if there's anything that my workshop can do for me, I'm in Abuja and my workshop is at Lokogoma. So if there's anything I can do to help, I have most of the tools too. If you need anything and you're in Abuja, as long as you can go to my workshop, I can tell them to help you. Do you understand? So that's pretty, I think let's look into that. Every person that knows how to do things, or there's a mechanic, an electrician, whatever you are, let us know. So it is only because this is a mechanic, it's all about mechanics. So we just probably need mechanics and auto electricians. Then I think there are some software people who do a lot of flashing and all of that. If you do that too, please put it on. So that way, if you're looking for someone who specializes on that, just go on. I know we shared something some time ago. These are the people. So maybe let's get the admin to everybody who does that, send it to the admin. The admin collates it and then forward it out. So every now and then we just paste it. Every now, maybe every every month, we just paste it. So if someone misses it the last time, they'll see it now. So we can have our contacts and help each other as well. So please, let's try to be fair to each other. Same way I'm coming and giving for free, you to at least let's try to give something. I know, yes, we all have to make money, but let's try to be fair to each other. When somebody comes to you from the site and all of that, please just be fair. We're not saying don't charge money, but be fair with each other. Just because we're trying to we're going the same direction, and the more we make the industry better, the better for everybody too. So thank you so much for your time and all of that, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much, boss. And thank you. So I've reposted the link to the WhatsApp on the chat. Please let us do well to use it if you are yet to use it. Thank you. Enjoy your week. Till we meet again, remain blessed. Please list your cars on vehicle use and vehicle checks. Thank you. Enjoy your week ahead.
All right. Thank you, guys.